Hello, my dear teachers. This is Meenakshi Narula at Mentoring the Mentors. As I promised, I will be sharing with you engaging, effective, innovative strategies so that you can bring that kind of charm, innovation, excitement in your classrooms. So today I'm here with you is part fifth. And today we are going to talk about some of the strategies so that we will be able to develop strategic readers. How can we develop strategic readers? For that, today I have five more strategies with me that I'll be sharing with you. And these strategies are 3, 2, 1 strategy, unique summary strategy, 6-word summaries, reading routines, and GASE case. Now, what are these strategies all about? Let's quickly talk about these strategies. The first strategy for today is 3, 2, 1 strategy. So here, when your learners, when your students, they go through a passage, read a story or any of the novel, any of the book, it can be a comic book or whatever they are reading of their choice. It can be a course book, it can be any book from the library, right? And when they complete their book, when they complete a particular story, you can go for 3, 2, 1 strategy. For that, what they have to do is they have to share 3 points to consider, connect, and to remember with, right? So that they will be able to connect with the story. They should be able to remember those 3 points quickly from that topic or the story, and two key vocabulary items that are new to them, and one big idea or the bigger question that they can relate with. They should be able to relate the story with the real life. They would be able to give any instance from either their real life, or maybe they have seen something happening with others after discussion with their friends. You can also incorporate here think, pair, share strategy so that children can discuss with each other and can come up with one big idea. So this is a strategy so that you will be able to use in the class and foster your readers as strategic readers. So let's talk about another strategy for the day. It is section-wise summaries, or you may talk about unique summaries. After completion of the story or the topic, ask your students to come up with innovative summaries. Either they can come up with short, brief summaries, or sometimes, as you can see on the screen, I have shared here some of the templates. You can bring that kind of innovation in story, in summary presentation. Like they would be talking about the title, they will be talking about the characters, beginning, middle, or the end of the story. Or maybe, as you can see, they can talk about here also 3, 2, 1, like they can come up with that kind of book review. And apart from it, they can also talk about somebody wanted, but so then. This is again a wonderful strategy for the summaries. Somebody, whom are you talking about? The main character in the story, and wanted. What was the objective? But what were the problems? So then what were the solutions sorted out by them? Then what happened at the end? So this is how they can come up with innovative summaries. And again, the last here on the screen that you can see, when we are talking about who, when, where, how, I mean, all kind of WH questions you can share over here, and the children, they will be able to come up with their innovative summaries. So make sure you use these kinds of strategies in your class so that you can bring that kind of innovation in the class. And even I would like to say, you can incorporate jam sessions over here. Just a minute. Ask them to summarize the entire story in a minute. Okay, so now let's talk about the third strategy for the day. Third strategy for the day, this is my favorite strategy. 6-word summaries, mnemonics, or rhymes. Like when your children, they complete a particular story reading, you may ask them to come up with innovative summaries. They can come up with either 6-word summaries, or they can bring some kind of mnemonics. They can create their own mnemonics, or maybe rhymes, or whatsoever they would like to. I just would like to give you one example here. Henry the Eighth, we are talking about his wives, right? He had 6 wives. Now, how to remember like what happened with his wives. So here is a mnemonic that you can easily find on internet. Here I have with me, that is for you. Divorced, beheaded, died. Divorced, beheaded, survived. Means Henry's wives, two of them were divorced, two of them were beheaded, one died, and only one, the sixth one, survived. So the children will be able to remember the same in this kind of sequence. So this is a mnemonic. Or they can also come up with certain kinds of rhymes as well. For example, as you can see here on the screen, a rhyme has been written. King Henry VIII, to six wives he was wedded. One died, one survived, two divorced, two beheaded. So that kind of rhyme also they can come up with. So likewise, just motivate your students to come up with innovative summaries, right? So now let's talk about, before we go to the next strategy, you may have a question like, in the previous slide also we talked about summaries and how come this is different. See, previous one was a detailed summary, right? We were talking about section-wise summaries, right? Beginning, middle, and end. Here we are coming up with summary in a few words or rhymes, right? So now let's talk about another strategy for the day. It is reading routines, or maybe we talk about accountable talk. We want our children to develop their thinking, critical thinking, and bring the same in the form of, you see, innovative ways, creatively presentation, the same in the class. So when our children, they read anything, any story, anything, any content, we should ask our children to present the same, and we can involve them in kind of accountable talk. For that, we need to start with some kind of reading routines. When we talk about reading routines, it means we can give them a few starters, right? So that they can bring with, like they can start with, for example, you may ask them, what do you think about dash? I mean, any of the question you can ask. How do you know that? What is your evidence for that? What questions do you have about so and so and so? And how would you summarize your understanding of a particular aspect you can talk about? So you may ask them to prepare the responses in pairs before you involve them in some kind of engaging, or you can talk about accountable talk with teacher or maybe with the students, howsoever you want to do. So let me tell you, this will help you to involve your students in high quality discussion, right? So this strategy when we are talking about reading routines. This is a fluency strategy. Students read aloud to each other, right? They read aloud to each other. It can be a pairing strategy as well. So likewise, they will be involved in such kind of routines, right? When you ask them together present the same. And here also you can pair the children who are more fluent and who are less fluent. So this is again a cooperative or a peer assistance strategy. So the last strategy, the fifth strategy for today is GASE, GASE. GASE, what is the, now this acronym stands for, G stands for gist, A stands for analysis, S for synthesis, E for elaboration. I'll take more time to explain this strategy because this is really, really very important strategy. You may ask your students to read, to reread time and again. Why do we need to read the same content time and again repeatedly, at least thrice? You see, the first read, it ascertains gist. When we read anything once, we understand the gist of the topic, of the story. And the second read poses a deeper analysis. If we want to analyze the topic or the story deeply, we need to reread. Second read. Now, if I talk about the third read, that is for synthesizing the main idea. What is the main idea? And we should be able to connect the same to other smaller ideas, and we'll be able to present the big picture, right? And then we will be able to work on those ideas And we should be able to, E is elaborate, right? Working on those smaller ideas, connecting them with the main idea, we will be able to elaborate on those ideas emerging from the text and connecting to reading. Any kind of questions can arise to our mind, we will be able to elaborate on that. Now, how can we elaborate? Because I am recording just short videos, but still would be able to give you one example. Suppose the children, they are reading something about food, something about nutrition. So they should be able to relate the same to zero hunger, good health and well-being, right? When they are talking about any of the topics related to economics, they should be able to talk about any kind of problems related to industry, right? Any kind of talking about no poverty or other things, they should be able to relate with. Talking about climate, they should be able to relate the same with the climate action SDG 13, right? So they should be able to connect the same with the real life, the big picture. So that is called elaboration. So before I end today's video, just would like to quickly recapitulate all the strategies that we talked about today. We talked about summaries, two kinds of summaries. Like one summary is section-wise summaries, unique summaries. And secondly, we talked about word-wise summaries, or maybe 6-word summaries, or maybe the rhymes. And the first strategy that we talked about, it was 3, 2, 1 strategies. So the fourth strategy that we talked about today is reading routine. Give them some kind of phrases or the starters so that they'll be able to explain the same and talk about their story, their understanding. And the last strategy that is there on the screen is GASE, GASE, gist, analysis, synthesis, and elaboration. Getting the gist after reading, and then rereading will give them analysis, and they'll be able to synthesize the bigger idea by correlating with the small ideas, and then we'll be able to elaborate, connecting the same with the real life. So this was all about some kinds of strategies so that you will be able to develop strategic readers in your class. So if you like my initiative of sharing these strategies with you, certainly they are innovative, isn't it? Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so that you get a notification, any of your YouTube channel notification window, notification bar, as and when I upload another strategy. And also, I love feedback. I love suggestions. Don't forget to give your valuable feedback in the comment section below. Till then, bye-bye. Soon, I'll be there with another list of wonderful strategies. Bye-bye. Thank you.